Oh, come on. None of them are working. None of them are working. I'll try one more time, but none of them are working. They all popped back at me and said they weren't working. Hello, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you. Somehow our little, there we go. I was trying to get it to work.
Soundtrack I'm hearing.
There we go. Yeah, the soundtrack's off. How's everybody doing tonight?
Okay.
We are here offering readings and that kind of thing. Hi, Haley Gilbert. I see that you'd like to have a reading. We'd love to give you one. We just need a little bit more information. We see that your birthday is 11/27/2003. But could we please, what we need to give you a free reading is 3 things: your birthday, your time of birth, and your place of birth. If you don't have the time, we can manage without it. Slightly less accurate that way, but we can still do the reading without it. But we at least need your birthday and place. Hi, Lissy. It's great to have you. I'm glad you're here. How's everybody holding up with all this that's happening? We have a lot of Aries going on. Has anyone noticed a little bit more combativeness? A little bit more of a feeling of wanting to fight? I know I personally have felt that. Oh, okay. Lafayette, I don't know why she's saying women's and children's. Not sure what you mean by that, Haley. I know what you mean by Lafayette, Louisiana, but okay. Are you putting that in, Bright Hawk? So there's a lot going on with Neptune.
I'll try.
And
my software was rebooting for this particular moment, so I think I can get it started.
Oh yeah, it does that occasionally. Thank goodness it does it usually pretty quick.
Okay, Haley. So we don't know a time for Haley?
That's what she said. She doesn't know. You should ask your mom, Haley.
Where? Oh, there it is.
I bet you can, Lissy. Yeah. I'll let Brighthawk do that. I'll put you on mute till you're done, Brighthawk. And then the Lissy, yeah, the Saturn's not quite there yet, but it will be in a couple days. I don't know if you listened to the forecast we posted on Sunday for this week, but man, spiritual warriors are rising up. We are rising up, right? And we've been seeing protests going on for a while, and now there's more protests, more people are joining that vision, and there's a lot going on, right? Hi, Lara. Is your life becoming very busy too? Sometimes Aries can make things very busy because it's super fast, because it's ruled by Mars, which is a super fast planet. So, depending on where your Aries is or what you have in Aries, and maybe how it's aspecting some of your planets, it could also make your life incredibly busy. Lots of changes we're experiencing right now. So, go ahead, Bright Hawk. You can unmute yourself. Hi, Susan. Welcome.
Okay, Haley. So this first reading is for Haley. I just put in a default time of 11:11. So we'll just start with some basics, Haley. I don't have a question from you specifically. You just asked for a reading, so we'll start off with some basics. So just like me, you're a Virgo rising. And of course, you probably know that your sun is in Sagittarius, which is also just like me. And and you actually are a very passionate person, I imagine, because you have Mars conjunct the sun. Mars is at 2 degrees, the sun is at 4 degrees in Sagittarius, so that's very strong, okay? And then your what we would say your chart ruler, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and you have Mercury at 23 degrees Sag directly at the bottom.
But we don't know her time of birth.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. Never mind.
I do it all the time.
It's hard not to because we pay a lot of attention to the houses. This is why, if you want a reading tonight or anytime, it's really, really helpful if you know, of course, 3 things: your birth time, your birthday, your birth time, and your location. Just, and we're happy to do a quick little reading for you. Okay, so I have to ignore the rising sign since we can't have an active conversation to help rectify what we think might be your rising sign. So you have a Gemini moon, but what I still said was true. Your sun and Mars are conjunct, which means Mars is all about action, right? And right now, everything, and your Mars is 2 degrees Sagittarius, which means it's in a trine right now to the energy that is sitting at 0 degrees at Aries with Saturn and Neptune. So, of course, the fire signs are all going to be in a trine to each other: Leo, Sag, and Aries. And so your Mars and Saturn, Mars and Sun are going to be very lit up by that Saturn Neptune conjunction. You also 21, 20, 24. Let me just double check. This looks like you also have a finger of God, but it doesn't look precise to me, which is pointing to Venus. So Venus in conjunct Uranus. So, okay. You do not have a complete finger of God. You have a very close. What's missing is that what is a finger of God? Finger of God is, and I have 2 of them, so I know all about them. I've had to learn that there are times in your life where you feel called to do a certain thing, destined, like, I'm supposed to do this. Listen to that voice and follow through, because that's we're just going to ignore that. My apologies. Everything should go on silent. We're in the middle of closing a house, so sometimes you got to take calls, but this isn't one of those times. Okay, so the Venus, the important thing to know about your Venus is that it has very faded energy and past life It's right next to the South Node. It's at 3 degrees next to the South Node in Libra, which when we add the modern what's going on right now, which let me go ahead and throw that in. And I don't know if you're still located in Louisiana, but I went ahead and made that chart for Louisiana. So right now, the Venus South Node conjunction that you have in your natal chart 30, 60. No, it's just 30 degrees. Okay, so the nodal return. Okay, I'm not going to worry about you and the eclipses. It's already past your markers, so less to worry about. Okay. Were you saying this was a children's chart? Do I have this birthday right? November 27th, 2023? This person is 3 years old? Is that correct?
No, it's 2003.
2003. Well, let's just take care of that and see how many things change. Wonderful. Oops. So November 27th, 2003, Lafayette, Louisiana. Is that correct? Okay. Apologies. You get one thing wrong, everything changes. Okay. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So, you just scratch everything I said, because now you do not have a Sun conjunct Mars. You do not have the things I was talking about. All right. I apologize. You definitely have a Sagittarius Sun. Let's go there. You definitely have a Mercury in Sag. Conjunct, 3 degrees, conjunct Pluto. So you're looking there at Pluto is the planet of transformation and things that are hidden, things that are under. And Mercury is communication. And so in fire, and you look like you have a grand trine in Earth. You have Jupiter in Virgo, South Node, North Node in Taurus, and is that perfect? 16, 15, yeah. And the other point is Chiron in the moon. Your natal moon is in Capricorn. So that's really grounded. Capricorn tends to be on the cool side. So the moon in Capricorn is actually in its weakest place because it's the farthest from home. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's 180 degrees from its home, which is Cancer. You have Saturn retrograde in Cancer, or this person. I'm just going to say this is Haley. Chart. I don't know if it's related to you or what, but how's the career front going? I noticed there's a Saturn retrograde in Cancer, which can be very challenging on the career front. Saturn retrograde can have people feeling a little lost about which way to go. And Saturn in Cancer is all about Cancer is the crab, of course, and so it's loves family, very loyal, very family oriented, not always very sensitive, not always emotionally aware. Often we say Cancers are figuring out their emotions and how they feel as it comes flying out of their mouth. So a Saturn Cancer is Saturn, of course, is now what we're looking at is that you have the moon and Saturn in mutual reception, which means they can switch places because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and the moon is the ruler of Cancer. So when they're in this kind of role, it's called mutual reception, which in where they are at, they are actually in detriment because of their positioning 180 degrees from home. But the fact that they can sort of have a conversation and flip, it puts it in a better role. I'm not sure if I'm making a lot of sense. You want to add anything to that? The
So it usually means, sorry, I just had to
Go ahead.
um okay. Uh so Saturn and the moon can flip places literally. So this could make you, I imagine, Haley, you experience some at times emotional unrest on a day-to-day life, day to day. And I also wonder about your health and well-being day to day, or is it in career? Because what Brighthawk was saying about the Saturn retrograde in the sixth house, um, I also wonder if it has to do with something else in your day to day life. Maybe not work. Maybe it could have something to do with something else, including your health or wellness. Um, And so, if you find yourself challenged in that regard, you do have Saturn retrograde in Cancer there. You haven't gone through your Saturn returns yet, but you will. And in the meantime, uh, you're probably going to experience some pretty big life changes this year, especially because of the nodes returning into Virgo and Aquarius. So that's going to create sorry, Leo and Aquarius. That's going to create some it's not going to necessarily be bad. It's just probably going to shift your energy a little bit. And it's probably going to shift the way things are, change the way you live. You're still figuring out who you are. In astrology, we don't really um consider you grown up until you're 30. So we see you as still developing, um, because you haven't gone through your Saturn returns yet. And I know in our culture we don't see it that way, but that's how we see it in astrology. So you're still developing, you're still finding things out about yourself, you're still learning things about yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that, Haley. It's a great time to be alive, right? And with the Capricorn moon, there's probably times that you feel a little bit colder, and then there's a lot of times, or you don't understand your emotions, or you don't get it, and then all of a sudden there's other times that that that's not true. Suddenly you feel like suddenly you feel like it's everything, right? All right, Haley, I hope that's helpful. Okay. Lissy, I have your daughter's chart. I think it's your daughter. Um Holy cow, does she have a lot of astrology? She has a lot of Aquarius energy. You're not kidding. I mean, wow. Um, she has a lot of Aquarius energy. Just gonna show you guys. Look at this. You guys see it? All this. She has a whole bunch of stuff in the same area. Um, so what I can tell you really quickly is that she's in Aquarius and that the nodes are going to be moving here into Aquarius here very soon. I suspect that she's going to experience a lot of shifts in her life, a lot of changes. She's going to be an activist. No getting around that, being an Aquarius. Um, so don't be surprised when she starts to want to do that. And I would say, Lissy, that in the coming 2 years, including starting this Valentine's Day, which is or in or around February 17th. There's going to be an eclipse in Aquarius. We'll sort of give her a precursor as to what the next 2 years will be about, what's coming into her life, especially in relation to like higher thinking, education, career, things like that. She might start to find out what she really wants to do with her life, which which could, be really important, especially with her going forward. So major life changes, major shifts in her reality, totally different perspective on the world, and probably also shifting the way she lives her life. So I don't know if you had any specific questions, but there you go. Um, hey Bianca, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Um, uh, oh yeah, she'll be 15. Yeah, well, so the North Node is going to enter there for the next 2 years. This summer actually, it won't be, February around Valentine's Day will just be like sort of eclipse in Aquarius. So don't be too upset um, don't be too surprised if she discovers something that you weren't expecting. Or anytime this year, there could be some things that kind of come up that you weren't really expecting, that you're kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't think it'll be a big deal for you. Um, does she identify as she? Yeah. Yep. It will start on the Neptune and then slowly move backwards, back and forth occasionally. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if that changes. Let's see. Um, she may not discover that until her Saturn return, but yep. Yeah, so, her identity, a lot of who she is going to change, especially this year and the years to come. Like she's going through some major changes, major shifts, career, how she identifies, how she sees herself, all of that sort of thing. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that's helpful. Um, I hope that's helpful for you. Hey, Tabitha and Dylan. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so let's see, that North Node is going to go through her chart. Oops. It's going to go through there. So you can see right now, she has a whole bunch of stuff on her Aquarius placements. And then,
wow.
Yeah. And then later on, you can see that North Node, it's right there. And if you just keep going, there it goes in Aquarius, and it's just gonna, and even when it just moves into Aquarius, she'll probably feel it. And then it will just keep going through. And then you said her birthday is something, but when's her okay, hold on. So her birthday is February 14th. The eclipse is right on Neptune for her. So she'll probably have a really good vision about what exactly she's supposed to be or do. So whatever happens during the eclipse will probably be very destined. It will very much speak to who she's going to be. That'll be February 17th, just a couple days after her birthday. All right.
Boy, with that south node conjunct her moon. Was it the moon?
Uh,
South
yep,
node
in
conjunct.
Cancer.
So I just want to say, whenever we see conjunctions, particularly with the south node, it speaks a lot to our, well, our many lives. When I think of the south node, I think about past lives. And so it immediately makes me think about karmic contracts. So when we talk about the moon, we're talking about usually Divine Mother. We talk about Saturn often as the father or masculine energy. You know, each of the planets has a lot, tells us a lot about each person's story. And so when we see things like that, it's like, oh, so South Node conjunct the moon. It's the mother that's asking all these questions, right? It's you guys probably have a quite a relationship a calling together that you've made an agreement about this life. You've done other lives together and made agreements about what you're going to learn this time together. So it's very interesting. It's one of those things you want to pay attention to where you're definitely each other's teachers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everyone, I hope that you're navigating this time. If you'd like a reading, you could put your birthday, time, and place in the comments. We're happy to give you a reading or to take a look at your chart. And what I'll say is that there's a lot going on right now in a lot of different areas. There's big movements, big placements happening. If you haven't listened to our forecasts, um, um, then we encourage you to do so because that's going to give you a good insight as to what's happening this coming week and really ongoing for the rest of the year because the transit that's happening that starts this week will be a little bit of the theme for the rest of the week. There's that YouTube link to the video. Now the thing is that I also do a Substack that includes a written horoscopes um written horoscopes and the whole horoscopes in Substack. There you go. The Substack list there, that's this week's horoscopes. And of course, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can also subscribe and see the reels that are being posted for every single sign. They're usually posted like we can only post a couple of couple per hour or whatever, couple per day or whatever it is, depending on the site. And so you can just subscribe to the page, to the YouTube page, to the Facebook page, and keep an eye out for the reels so you can catch your own personal horoscope. I strongly suggest that you listen to your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon. Now, the sun and the rising will be a mixture of those two things as to how that transit will affect you. And I'd say that the moon sign would affect more of your emotions, more of the emotion of who you are, right? And so sometimes the moon's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to detect, I guess. But you know, I still think that it still applies to me sometimes. It's a little bit easier for me to sort of pick it up sometimes than it is other time. So I seen that Tabitha and Dylan were asking for any insights. So Tabitha, I found your chart real quick. Oh, you guys, you're still having that major transit. I think I remember telling you about this before. This is a long transit. It's going to be going on for the next 2 years. Um, Whatever's going on right now, you've probably got a precursor to it. It will happen again around Valentine's Day. It could be a couple days after. It's really important that you pay attention to that because um that is pretty much your precursor as to what you will mostly be dealing with for the next couple of years. Okay? Because you both have Saturn in Aquarius, and it rules Tabitha, your eighth house. So I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with like other people's money or taxes or sex or something. And same thing goes. Dylan also has Saturn there. He also has Mars. So there's a lot of energy going on there for you guys. And with all that energy happening there, plus with Dylan being an Aries, with a only a 4-degree sun, his sun's at 4 degrees, and I feel like this is an intense time for you guys. This is really intense astrologically. Um, so I really think it's important that you that you are aware that this is a major test of who you are. So I'm sure it is incredibly hard, incredibly challenging. I don't want to like put all your business out there. But I can imagine that this is an incredibly challenging time that is really, really hard to navigate for you guys. And I would just suggest that you remember that no doubt the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Um, You guys have a lot of things destined. You have a lot of things lined up. Remember who you are. Remember where you came from. Remember how you guys came through together. Remember everything you've been through. And be prepared to change and shift who you are to make it a little bit easier for you. Okay? Change and shift. Being open to other ways of being with each other would be my best suggestion. Maybe also experiencing a little bit more independence or time away from each other could also be helpful. Okay. Um, so Sandra, if you want the horoscopes for each sign, those have already been posted. What we're doing here are just quick little readings where we just take a look at your chart. So you have to post your birthday, time, and place. Um, so, but if you just scroll up in the comments, there are links to the horoscopes, which you'll be able to get them all. They're in video format or they're written on that Substack I gave a link to. Okay. Lissy asked a question. I do have a quick question if you don't mind. I'm in a nodal return currently. Whew. So when they come out of Pisces Virgo and go into Aquarius Leo, will they affect my Leo ascendant? Yep. Yep. But nodal returns are way more intense than pretty much anything else. So, like the south node is on my sun, and I've definitely been feeling it.
I'm
But it
just going to
wasn't as
say
intense as it
that
was my nodal return.
I'd love to throw in my 2 cents about remember that eclipses are literally, it's ecliptic energy. Something will be revealed that you could never have predicted. You're just like, what? So for example, the south node is going through Virgo right now. And 2 years ago, I was very certain about where I lived and very certain that that's where I would be living and that that's where my life was and that was that. And now 2 years later, I'm like, oh my God. Everything's changed. We've moved. We're gone from the Rocky Mountains to New York. Life couldn't have I could not have predicted the kind of changes that presented themselves. So, how do you surf a nodal return? Be flexible, pay attention to your instincts, your inner voice, your gut instincts, whatever it is that's calling you that says, gosh, I don't know, but I've been having this thought. I just need to speak it out loud. Yes, you do. That's uh, nodal returns can have things sort of come to our, for lack of a better word, sort of wash up on our shore and be like, wow, well, I didn't think about that before. And now suddenly your life is going in a different direction that can be fabulous. All about making it fabulous. So it's big, and it's important that you use your tools. This is why we have practices. That's why we call it practice, because the more we do it daily, the better off we are, whether it's yoga or meditation, hopefully both. Some kind of daily movement, some kind of, we feed the body, we feed the mind, we feed the spirit, all with quality. And in that way, we're ready when big changes and opportunities arrive. And if we're stiff, that's when we break. But when we're flexible, my friend Fantuzzi would say, "Blessed are the flexible, for they shall never be bent out of shape." We can, the Buddhists talk a lot about the tree that bends in the wind, and the plant that doesn't get tested in a storm doesn't grow strong. So these are those days where we get stronger, and when we do our work, I believe things have a way of falling into place that is better than you can imagine. I don't have an imagination the size of the universe. Do you? So I'm amazed how things have fallen into place for us the last 30 to 45 days. It's wow. And it can happen. It's definitely feels like a surfs up kind of ride, but it also means, because it's the nodes, because it's those, that destiny. The south node is all about our past lives, the north node is all about our destiny, our future, our north star, right? We're not just talking about this lifetime, we're talking about agreements we've made for who knows how long, who knows how many different things. And when you start to realize that things are unfolding just exactly the way they should, and maybe we don't have all the answers and we can get like a much bigger perspective, all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe the universe knows a little more than me. Yeah, for sure. So that's what we love about astrology, that it can help us sort of get through those moments. Frankly, I don't know how people run their lives without it. I highly advise that you take advantage of at least once a year getting an astrology reading. Hollis is an extremely good reader. Very, very helpful information. Helps you really make sure you're on the right course and you're not trying to. The very first reading I had many decades ago, I remember the first feeling that I had was the tremendous validation of, oh, wait a minute, that spot, that freckle, that's part of me, and I keep trying to rub it out. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop obsessing on my spots and start accepting my spots and my stripes and whatever. And it just, I started to feel like it saved me so much time, that astrology helped me course correct with so much more efficiency in my life than if I was just doing what I had always done and flying by the seat of my pants. There is a lot of information available in the stars, and it's a shame that it's not widely known and as popular as it has been at different times in the human history, because it's super useful. There we go.
So I wanted to also offer up Sandra Schwab asked for a reading. Sandra, and by the way, Sandra, you're welcome. First of all, I want to say, Sandra, you've been navigating the South Node on your ascendant, so you've probably been letting a lot of things go. Um, Maybe things from the past have had to come up, you've had to work through them and then release them. I just want to say that that's almost over. Okay, that's been going. Maybe it's been about people. Maybe it, particularly, it could have been about people or something to do, maybe with your career or your day to day life. Maybe a little bit of all of that. Just having to move away from that and moving into some different things. Um, Also, in how you take care of yourself. I want to say that a lot of that intensity is going to back off now, and that's kind of good news. Um, the 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 thing is that I don't feel like it was that intense, but it has been going on for a couple of years. You definitely make some shifts. The universe has been preparing you for what is to come now, which you're about to have a nodal opposition. Um, so the north node is going to be on your south node, and south node will be on your north node. So you'll still be dealing with stuff in history, but now it might have something to do with more like fun, romantic relationships, children, as well as like friends, people that have influence or power over you, coworkers, that kind of thing. So that's what's to come. And you've already been dealing with like wellness things. Maybe you've had to let go of some things. And with just it probably is maybe even had to do with like relationships and things of that nature. Um,
Sandra, is it okay if I ask you about your health? I notice you have a finger of God pointing to Chiron, which is retrograde in Taurus.
Yeah, it's in the ninth house though, so it's higher learning or education. What happened in college or with the law? That's what I would want to know. Um, so assuming her time is correct. Yeah. Her son's not aspected. So sometimes Bright Hawk, one of the things we look for is the sun aspected because it represents vitality. And the first house. She does have the sun in the first house though. That's why I said maybe wellness. Maybe like she's had to make some shifts to live a healthier life. Maybe she's had to change her diet or something. Maybe she's had to do more meditation, yoga, tai chi, anything like that that's bringing you in a better, healthier life. Maybe it's just the way you're thinking about it.
I'm going
Oh,
to say there's a profound healing relationship that you have with someone because you have Venus in conjunct Chiron. And that's strong. That's a Venus in conjunct the moon. So that's all about mother, relationship, and Chiron's involved. And so there's I, hmm you have Chiron with the finger of God, and the sextile at the bottom is Neptune and Uranus. No, Neptune and Pluto, forgive me. Neptune and Pluto. Pluto in Libra at 23. All of those are direct. Neptune in Sag. Okay, so let's crack the code. What's the story telling us? Okay, so Chiron. Chiron's retrograde in Taurus, which means it's the wounded healer, but it's in Taurus, which is when it's retrograde, makes me wonder what kind of health challenges you're up against, and if anything happened at 22. Um, and then the conversation that it's in is with, oh, I see. Mercury and Pluto are conjunct 22 and 23 Libra. So that's transformation and communication in Libra, which is about fairness and law and justice. It's in the second house, other people's money. uh, and Jupiter's not far away, so it's amplifying it. What's okay? And then we have the other sextile is with Neptune. Neptune's direct in Sag, Neptune in a fire sign, Neptune is water in a fire sign, so that's kind of steamy. What do you, um, so the other thing that I see is you have a lot of trines and sextiles, and what that means is that you have a lot of blessings, and sometimes you might have so many blessings and things that flow for you that you don't even know how good it is. You don't even know how good you've got it because things just happen for you. You've got Mars in Leo and your North Node in Leo, and so when you go about doing things, I imagine they get done. Is that true?
Maybe, but what I would also wonder is, Sandra, do you ever struggle with any kind of addiction, such as drugs and or alcohol, medications? Um, so I think she's answering you there, Bright Hawk. But the Neptune and Sag can sometimes speak to that, and it's in the
Yeah,
fourth
the
house.
moon in Gemini. Gemini, Sag, those two are kind of and Pisces are sort of known for um, careful you don't overdo it on substances. Know when to say, okay, it's enough. I've been
See,
delaying a doctor's appointment, been too busy with life. My sister's a Taurus and I don't get along with her. Interesting. Yes, I try. Medications, yes. Pain wise, due to a car accident, car crash in 97. Yeah.
yep. So what I would say is that you need to prioritize your health, because you probably need to take care of that now. Because this eclipse will give you a precursor. And the thing is if you try to ignore a transit like the South Node, like not taking care of yourself and not listening to go to the doctor and things of that nature, it doesn't always go well. When it leaves the sign, and it will be leaving the sign in a few months, I would get to the doctors. Please stop putting them off. Please take care of yourself. So, um, because then you will get a nodal return in Aquarius. That could be uncomfortable. And is there something medical that your parents also dealt with? See how the Neptune Bright Hawk is in the fourth house?
Mm-hmm.
So Neptune also speaks to addiction and things like that. So maybe her parents were also had addictive patterns. But that could have led to that Chiron retrograde in
She
the
said
ninth house.
alcohol.
Yeah. So there you go. Because addiction is hereditary. It's a taught behavior. Yeah. It's a taught behavior that you don't even realize they taught you when you were a little kid. Um, if you look up the theories in alcohol and drug addiction, most of the behaviors are learned in childhood. I think they're still testing to try to figure out if it's genetic. I think there's still some back and forth about whether it's genetic or taught, but either way, it definitely seems to run in families. So, and I think that's the reality. Our dog is very thirsty
I
tonight.
just want to ask, did anything surprising happen today? Because the moon is directly on top of your Uranus in Scorpio. Maybe it's this. Maybe this conversation.
See, look at this, Sandra. Right. So, I'm just gonna say that while it's destined and written in your chart, it's also you're a wounded healer, and that's what Bright Hawk's talking about. And while you're wounded, yes, you also have the potential to heal. So please take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Um, do what you can to make sure you distance yourself away from violent, angry, addictive people. Um, and do what you need to do for your own mental health. Have you been working on your mental health? Yeah. So, so Brayhawk, when you see the Neptune in a major aspect like that,
Yeah.
especially when it's direct, when it's retrograde, sometimes they grew up with the addiction and they hate the addiction, and they're kind of like me. Okay. Not always, but sometimes. Okay. And then sometimes when it's in an aspect like that, especially in Sagittarius or Pisces or Gemini, like you said, that will speak to an addiction or something. And because it's in the fourth house, that speaks to that. Okay. Um,
Well, I think it's about time to wrap up, my friend.
so, um, we're always learning. We're all learning astrology all the time. And I think astrology is amazing. I think it's profound to learn that um, we have a particular placement in our chart that helps us understand our history a little bit better, our past, especially if we have been through something rather traumatic. Sometimes we can take on um, the victim mentality of that. And well, that's okay. To see yourself, because you were a victim to some degree. We also, there's some parts of us that could become wounded healers. Maybe we're here to help others. Maybe there's some part of it that our soul is here to learn and overcome in some way. Um, I know people think I'm crazy, but I'm grateful for all the things that have happened to me. They made me incredibly resilient, and I'm grateful for them. And I've had quite a traumatic childhood. You can read about it in my book. You can go to my website. I know Bright Hawk isn't hilarious. I always find a way. Okay, divineandrogen.com. I know it's the Mars and Gemini. Okay, so you can book at my website, divineandrogen.com. You can also book Bright Hawk here at psychicinsights.life. You can book either one of us there. And, if you're wanting to learn more about your astrology chart and get a quick look, we put together that little guide there for you. You can find in my digital shop at divineandrogen.com. It's a great little if you use the live 50 thing, you only pay a couple bucks for it, and it will help you get a free astrology chart, tell you what your sun, moon, and rising is, and then you can go up here in the comments, take a look at your horoscope, and your horoscope will be more accurate, and read all three, because everybody should be reading at least 3 horoscopes every week. So you read your sun, your moon, and your rising, and you'll find that it's a little bit more accurate. We hope that you'll check us out next week. Every Sunday night, we try to release a video on YouTube, and I try to announce it through Substack. So make sure you scroll up in the comments and grab that link to our forecast, our weekly forecast. And we hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope, thank you, Lissy. Maybe we'll post some pictures of it when we get there and we get it all settled in. Thank you.
Thank you. Remember, the big dates to remember right now is that we have a new moon and a solar eclipse on February 17th in Aquarius, 28 degrees. We have Mercury retrograde. We've already entered the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. It starts retrograde on February 26th. It goes until March 20th, but the shadow period is February 11th to April 9th. Okay, so, it's a full, all of March basically. And and Venus will be retrograde all of March and into April. So that will be something. And then, of course, 2 weeks after a solar eclipse, there's always another eclipse, and that will be the lunar eclipse in Virgo at 12 degrees with a full moon. That's March 3rd is the lunar eclipse, okay? Those are just just the big ones, just the next few months, you know, just a little thing. Of course, now we're looking at all that energy and Saturn and Neptune sitting on the world point. We're all in this together at some level or another. We all agreed. We all said, "Yep, these are the times we want to be in. We're going to be in it together." So may we make the world a brighter place because we're in it. Thanks for listening to Rainbow Soul Astrology, where we like to be a bridge between you and the stars. Have a great week. Much love, everyone.